And since we're talking about integrity, I'm confused as to why my Republican colleagues aren't talking about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's family's visas. Let me remind y'all that Melania, the first lady, a model, and when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell level, applied for and was given an EB1 visa. And what's that stands for is an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having others sustain extraordinary abilities and success in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Last time I checked, the First Lady had none of those accolades under her belt.
We know it doesn't take much to put the name Jasmine Crockett in the mouth of our fearless cult leader, but this moment from the House floor will undoubtedly merit a lengthy Truth Social post.
Doesn't take an Einstein to see that the math ain't mathin' here.
Got him. We fucking got him.
This was Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett from Texas earlier this week, suggesting that the process by which Melania Trump acquired her green card back in the early 2000s may not have been on the up and up, while also implying that the First Lady should not have merited the extraordinary visa for her modeling at the time. Speaking during a House Judiciary Committee hearing, the lawmaker tore into her Republican colleagues over immigration, an issue in which they continue to offer unwavering support over, despite the fact that the American people are less than satisfied with the job that Trump is doing on the matter, according to recent polls, which shows a dramatic shift from the past where Trump would usually poll well regarding immigration.
This issue, why do they always prioritize the illegal criminals first?
Because the people that she's talking about are not criminals. 75% of the 238 men that were sent to CCOT have no criminal conviction. New data is out on who's been arrested in Los Angeles. 70% of the people who've been taken in, no criminal conviction. Right now, ICE has, according to their own numbers, they've detained 59,000, 47% of them, no criminal convictions. That's what people wanted. Worst first. That's not what they're getting, which is why Donald Trump's approval on immigration has plummeted.
Crockett noted that Melania Trump obtained permanent residency through an EB1, which is known as, quote, Einstein visa, and is meant for individuals with, quote, extraordinary abilities.
But I also want to defend Melania real quick. Not everybody could marry Donald Trump, and I think that's quite an achievement.
And since we're talking about integrity, I'm confused as to why my Republican colleagues aren't talking about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's family's visas. Let me remind y'all that Melania, the First Lady, a model, and when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell level, applied for and was given an EB1 visa. And what's that stands for is an Einstein visa. Now, y'all that don't know, let me tell you how you receive an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having others sustain extraordinary abilities and success in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Last time I checked, the First Lady had none of those accolades under her belt. It doesn't take an Einstein to see that the math ain't mathin' here. In your experience, do individuals on J or M visas typically improve or impair our economy?
They generally improve the economy, and I can give a brief example. My wife is a very successful woman. She makes a ton of money, which I'm grateful for. And the reason why we're able to do that while having 3 children is because of the au pair visa, somebody who is here on a J, who is here and able to supply this for us. But I also want to defend Melania real quick. Not everybody could marry Donald Trump, and I think that's quite an achievement. So I think she deserves credit for that. Nobody up here could have done it.
You sure right. I couldn't do it.
Now here's what we know. 3 years after meeting the president at the Kit Kat Club, Melania moved to the US on an EB1 visa. She went on to become a US citizen in 2006. Now, according to the Washington Post, the year in which Melania received her EB1, just 5 people from her home country of Slovenia obtained green cards under the program.
Throughout my life, I have harnessed the power of love as a source of strength during challenging times. Love has inspired me to embrace forgiveness, nurture empathy, and exhibit bravery in the face of unforeseen obstacles. Today, we celebrate courage, a strength that is based in love. Let us also take a moment to acknowledge those who persist in their struggles. For each of them, love serves as a powerful catalyst, instilling a profound sense of purpose in their endeavors. To the women who are driven to speak out for justice, even though their voices are trembling. To the women who are motivated to rise up for their community when others remain indifferent. To the women who feel compelled to heal wounds caused by hatred and cherish peace.
CNN is scum. MSDNC is scum. The New York Times is scum. They're bad people. They're sick. And what they've done is they tried to make this unbelievable victory into something less. Now, even they admit that it was hit very hard. Okay. But it wasn't hit, it was hit brutally. Yeah, if you were in the Situation Room with the generals and all of the people that did such a good job, and then they get demeaned by these idiots at CNN who can't get ratings. The place is dying. Nobody wants to even waste their time going on their shows. So they form with the New York Times, who's dying also. Without Trump, you wouldn't have a New York Times.
And the reason this is coming under scrutiny, right, is because the president is railing against immigrants and directing ICE officials to enact raids across the country, which have resulted in countless US citizens being wrongfully deported.
The fact that Democrats and my colleague, Representative Pramila Jayapal, feel the need to even introduce an amendment that says ICE cannot deport US citizens is batshit crazy. This should not even be a discussion. It's not even a question. US citizens cannot be deported by ICE. It's the law. It's the Constitution. I will be astounded if Republicans vote no on this.
The songs have never worked, starting with the original Doge quartet that was outside the Department of Education. I'm not into singing, but you have seen, as Jesse said, look at the numbers, and it's manifesting in the numbers. So Gavin's personal aspirations of becoming president, we'll see how that shakes out in the primary. But our favorite Harry Enton, who gives the most enthusiastic reads of the big board, said Trump has lost the political battle when it comes to what's happening in LA. He's minus 15 overall on how he's handling it and minus 24 with independents. Pew has new polling out, 49% saying he's gone too far, and 54% say that they disapprove of the workplace rates. And we know that he's also underwater on immigration in our own polling, minus 7 there. So when we say the people don't like this, they don't like it. That doesn't mean that Democrats aren't still unpopular. That doesn't mean, I don't know, if the election was held again today, Donald Trump might very well win again if it was a...
Yep. And he would.
I'm just saying that you can't deny the fact that the direction, and Greg, you always say, directionally, where are we going? Directionally, it has been heading in the negative direction on every single major indicator of success for a president. Not economy and
sport.
51 to 49, Bailey. You cherry picked that poll, and earlier this week we did it as well. I told Jennifer own poll.
We don't have the Jimmy Quinnipiac that Biden had.
Fox News poll, AP.
But here's the problem, Jessica.
So therefore, questions have once again been raised about Melania's suitability for the extraordinary ability category, putting her journey to citizenship under the spotlight. And we know if there's one representative in office who's going to hold up that unwavering light and seek answers on behalf of the American people, it's Jasmine Crockett.
All of this talk about lowering costs and reducing waste is absolute BS. Their agenda is about one thing, making the federal government so weak that they can exploit it for their personal gain. They're stealing your data to help their companies. They're taking away your healthcare and food assistance to fund tax cuts for billionaires. Their agenda is pro-disinformation, pro-obstruction, pro-greed, and pro-exploitation. If you didn't know, that's what Doge actually spells out. D, disinformation. O, obstruction. G, greed. And E, exploitation. And congressional Republicans have been complicit in this agenda. They've helped this administration terrorize the public. They've allowed this administration to launch the country into a war without congressional approval. And while we're talking about saving money, Let me tell you, just dropping those few bombs in one day, that was the beginning of what is going to be a very long bill for us as they talk about being efficient. There was nothing efficient about doing it. And maybe if there was some consultation, maybe with those that say have constitutional authority, since we care about the Constitution, then maybe we could have saved the American people not only money, but the lives that are now at risk as we have to put out warnings for American citizens in this country and abroad. Maybe we need to start leading with the people at the middle of what it is that is guiding us instead of following one person. The reason that people like me say things like y'all are in a cult is because somehow people are abdicating their duties and abdicating the very people that put them into office. But I got 30 seconds.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.midastouch.com. All 100% USA union made.